Hey, hey. Ooh, that's hot. Hot mic. That sounds like maybe better. All right. It's been a little while since I've streamed. I'm streaming again. I am planning on doing some Roll20 macro work. Um, that's about all I got for y'all. Let me get started in a second. I need to. I have way too many tabs open, I think. Yep, all those can go. Yeah, screw it. I'll find these again if I need them. All right. What do we need? We need to fix my perfect. Can't see any of me. There we go. All right. So what we're gonna do, I have these tables. I have these sheets called single sheet dungeon, or as I called it, sheet. All right. So the game system, it's pretty fun. I've found it to be pretty fun. I'll give you a quick rundown. What this entails is me getting the screen accurate. There we go. 1 to 3 players. Um, you have a hex grid map, and you have a home base on the center grid, or the center of the grid. You place a couple extra places on the map. I should never did. I need to do that. Um, you roll up a quest and begin by being at the destination, or immediately begin traveling there from your home hex. Okay. So anytime you enter a new hex, you roll to see if you get new terrain or if it's the same terrain. Roll the weather. You build out using these D6 rolls. Um, let's see. Where is the overland? So we're gonna look at this sheet real quick. Basically, you start by checking to see if you have original terrain or new terrain. You're more likely to have the same, which kind of helps you create biomes on your map. It's great. Um, there's these 6 different types of terrain. You check to see if there's a river, a lake, or no water features on the hex. Um, and you check to see what the current weather is. The weather's not, I haven't found very useful yet, but I can see there being uses for it. Next up, we will go to um, you explore. So you click on the next tile. After you figure out what the tile looks like, then you can explore it. Um, you roll another d6. There's a potential for a spore, which is mostly just flavor. Um, more. Oh, sorry. Dog is barging in. Oh, I'm closing that. You barging out again? Okay. Alrighty. Apologies. So, flavor things like there's black smoke. That you see black smoke. Um, or you can find a discovery, which then you go to this to figure out what type of discovery, and you roll a d6. And after you do that, you have more tables for each one of those d6s. A lot of rolling, which is fun. Dog. Um, not distracting at all. Um, and from there, you build out your tile even more with new things. It could just be just like a random portal sitting on there. How do you maintain what that portal does? Heck, I don't know. You could roll a d6 to see maybe there's another portal on the other end somewhere on the map. The game leaves a lot open for interpretation by GM, which is also player. This is built as a solo campaign. Gonna be good dog now? I think so. Um, where does that take us? That takes us to, oh, add some themes to your tiles. You can add, if there's an occupant, what their activity is, details of it. It gives you all this flavor in there as well. Yawning. That's my signature early stream yawn. Um, so you get all the you make all these different rolls, and um, if there's a danger, what kind of danger is it? Is it an unnatural danger? Things like ghouls, skeletons, zombies. Is it a hazard? Things like a bog, a landslide, a sinkhole, poison, resources, ambush. Um, I've never used distance now that I look at it, or degree. Or reaction. Those haven't come up yet. Um, so it's page 1. On the back side of the page, uh, let's see. If your dangers, hostiles, then you click here. Look here for a hostile. You go to encounter by terrain on the other side. So then you figure out where are you at. We'll say we're in a mountain. Come over here. Look in the mountains. Roll a d6. It's a humanoid. Um, should be humanoid. So then you would roll on this. Um, you roll here, and then you also roll how many of that creature. Um, a few of them are bold, so you don't get multiple creatures. Multiple creatures in bold, only one appear. Um, Skeletons and zombies, you always roll a d6 instead of whatever. So, multiple different things. Um, there are NPCs that they can build. There are settlements. When you build a settlement, you can name it with one of the 6 prefixes. And what do you know? There's 6 prefixes, roll a d6, figure out which one of those tables. So in this case, let's say, see what we get. Why not? Apparently I'm popping it out onto the screen. Oh boy. I'm messing stuff up. I'm good at that. Close that window, bring it back into there. My mouse has been a jerk again. Been running the computer really heavy. That's probably why. But let's bring up the dice bar. So we want to roll a d6 to see which one of these suffixes, and then we'll do, or we want a d3, so we'll do 1, 2. If we roll a 1 or 2 on my d6, it'll be here, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'm going to roll 2 so I know which inside those. I'll explain as I go. So roll 2d6s. Boom. And we got a 2 and a 1. Or, no, we're going to go with this first one here. I don't know why it rolled twice. 2 and a 4. So we go back to sheet. It would be called 2, 4, frost. Now the suffix would be this 2, 1. So the settlement would be called Frostbridge. Okay. Then you can do, what's the quality of the place? Is it wealthy, poor? What industry is in there? Um, concerns, available. Here's a good one. You can have an armorer, an inn, or a merchant, or an herbalist. And depending on what you get, you have shops here that you can, an inn, herbalist, armorer. Oh my goodness, I gotta stop that. And merchant. And you go from there. And by doing that, you can create this whole large overworld, which overland as they call it. Now, but what are you doing in this world? You are going on quests. You're an adventurer. So how do we figure out what our quests are? Well, we roll some more d6s. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 d6s. And we can speed this up a little bit and roll all at once. All right. So, 3, this first one's a 3. We explore. That's what we have to do. Somebody wants us to explore what? A location. Makes sense. Uh, who gave us this? Who's our source? It's a friend of ours. 2. It's in a forest. There is a spy, and the reward is a special item, which down below, special items. And I haven't learned how to do these. I haven't used these tables yet. They haven't come up, but it looks like it might be 2d10, maybe, or a d10, 2d6s, and you just take the whatever the number value is for both. That's what it is. Okay, details. So many fun details. It's a fun game. The one challenge I've come across is, for me, memorization. Um, and or not memorization, but knowing the map. So I decided I was going to try to play it in Roll20. I did it the other day with a friend of mine, Nevin. He's one of the followers on my channel, and we adventured here to here. Came across 2 dungeons. We got another one coming down here. There's a lot of repetitive rolls, and so what I want to do is speed that up a little bit. So I've already created one called Get a Quest, and if I click it, go back to our chat, it does all of those that we just had. The Explore, Treasure, Wizard, Dog, not dog, but dog. See how long until he comes back in. Okay. And then it also gives you the direction. So this one, if we were to go on the adventure I just did, you'd go 2 hexes in southwest. So 1, 2. It's this L14. Sweet. Now we would go on adventure onto L14. We'd move to a tile, figure out the different terrains. What I'm coming to realize is if figuring out if it's a new terrain or an old terrain is a challenge because it's not just a simple, you can't just do an if statement in these macros. Now I got to figure out how to do that. And that's kind of where I've stopped at this point. I have a terrain table that, oh, that's just, I have a new terrain type, whether it's the same, which has a 66% chance, or a new terrain, which is 33% chance. And I roll that, and it'll tell me, oops, I rolled the wrong one. Roll. It gives me same or different. Now, how do we get that into a macro? So we create a macro up here. We're going to call it select terrain. I think that'll be good. What's my action going to be? It's going to call upon one of our tables here, which I think is with a T square bracket, square bracket. And then inside of that, we put in the name of it. New terrain. Oops, I didn't mean to close it. We're going to go ahead and test. That is not what it needs to be. I think it needs to be. So this is where it gets crazy because you need a bunch of brackets to do this right. And test it. There we go. Printed same. Test it. Same. New terrain. All right. So we're gonna do some Google. Let's do some Googling. Roll20. Macros. If statement. I'm trying to. Let's see. To say, all right, this person tried to do if result is 18 or 19 or 20, then roll 2d f. Oh, favorite results. So this person says this is from 9 years ago. So, So I want to find something more 8 years ago. Can I make a macro with an if condition as of October this year? That's fairly new. 12 years ago? What? Useful macros. D20 based. I don't want that. D20 based. Do a whisper. Fast way to whisper anyone in game. Oh, that's cool. So you could say whisper to who? And then what do you want to say? That's cool. Roll the quick die of small sizes in case you want to get rid of 30 die micros. For GMs, roll to resist mind control, resist drain, resist drain. General roll macro that asks for attributes, skills, positive mods, and negative modifier as well as the limit. Ooh. Oops. What did I just drop? My goodness. I'm going wild. Conditional statements with math only. 0 or 1 multiplication and addition if else can be approximated. However, this is limited to integer values and to some extent floating point values too. For example, the condition if x is greater than or equal to a, then t else f. The only way to evaluate the variable is the syntax for counting successes. A number of 0 to n for simple if, or example. Example 1 is true one time, since 3 is greater than 2, but 0 is less than 2. This will result in 1 times 3. What? 1 times 4. Why 1 times 4 plus 3? I got the 4 plus 3, but where's the 1 come into play? 3, 0. only if x is greater than a. So I could do something along the lines of roll a d6, ignore the new terrain, and do 1d6. Or how do I write it? I wrote it in double brackets. Brackets there. Where's the brackets close? Okay, so I think I do. If 1d6 is greater than let's move this away so I can compare. So inside there, so now we roll a d6. I think it needs to be greater than 4. That means 1 through 4 will be the same. Yep. Close the second curly brace. If that matches, then slash em same. Will that do anything? No. So let's test it. If 6 is 1d6 greater than 4. 3 is less than 4. So that's my first item. Um, Now, how do I do? Three is greater than two. The above example will multiply 4 with however many times the statement x is greater than 2 was true. However many times. What if I did another set of brackets here? Double. Square bracket, square bracket. Zero. What's that say? 4. No, I broke it. So here we've got the yay or nay of it, of if it's greater than 4. But then I want it to instead emote. The only way to evaluate the variable is the syntax for counting successes. It only returns the number from 0 to n. If an else value other than 0 is wanted, addition and conditional subtraction of t must be used to return t. Our dice rolls, surround them with brackets inside these formulas. Different result. All right, I'm going to do a little cheating. I'll get ChatGPT. Roll20 macro x is greater than 4. Print hello. Let's see. Let's see what this is doing. Option 1, using roll table. Interesting. Let's see what we can get with this. We'll do a practice macro. That's what we'll call it too. Practice macro. See what that shows up. Put equals 1. D1. So if I test it again, my result rolled a 4 again there. Roll 0 D1. What? My 1D6 is greater than 4. It was not 0 D1 gives me a 0. Okay. So if I do that times but how would that work? Give me something above. So the output was a 1 there. But output's 0. Oh, because my output should be so we're testing it, and the output is Let's look at Roll20. Table, like an array. Rollable tables act a bit like arrays, but they're not quite the same as in programming. One randomly picks. Why is one random? How do you? So I have that random item. I would just do 1T. Specific item would be 2T would return bananas. What if I were to instead of two different tables, I simplify this. I'm going crazy here. I'm going out of depth here. What if I just do in the table here, 6, we add, so I could add another item that would be old terrain. And if it's the old terrain, how would I do this? I could do, what about percentage here? So 6, 33. So I would do 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. And that would be the, so that's 33, it would be 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. And then put the rest of the 66 to old terrain. Well, there we go. That answers that. So 6, 5, 6, 33. This would be 67. Is that right though? I don't know if that's right. Uh, 66% chance of being that one thing. And yeah, that would make sense. This is terrain. Terrain. Oh, not that. Pop this back out. And this time, shrink that a little bit. Scroll down to the bottom. All right, that fixed that. I feel like that fixed that. Um, so then we add that to the select terrain. And there we go. We have our next um, we have our next macro here. So then I can go to L17, select terrain. Oops. Select terrain. Pops up in chat. It's the same old terrain. Now, I don't have one because I was on my home base. So let's roll till we don't get a... Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. It should do this roll. What? I didn't change anything here. Oh, so I could do this like, instead of just printing a one word, I could make it a little cleaner and kind of like follow the template, the default template. Though, we're going to look at the different templates here. Roll templates. A couple different styles. we've been sticking with the default, which is pretty straightforward. But what we could look at, I like the 5 NPC attack. I think that'll work. Let's go back here. Our name. I want our name. Next terrain would be, what does this need to be? R1? No. I can put it in the description. Description equals let's test it. So we have PC attack. Maybe I'm not ready for that quite yet. Just need to get something up and running and I can clean it up later. So if we go back to default, I just need to do name. And this would just be name. Next terrain, description, the old terrain. Or the mountain. All right. So I click select terrain. I get that. Get a quest. Good quest. I don't like the color scheme, but let's see what it looks like if I switch off dark mode. That is a lot easier to read. But it's, ew. Oh, excuse me again. So much yawning tonight. I lost my mouse. There you are. Checking in over here, see if anybody's in the channel. It doesn't look like it. Gotta check on something else. Well, it looks like we're coming up right on 1 hour. Right now, it's been 1 hour. Um, that being said, I should probably call it. Um, so now I have a way to go about the map quickly, cleanly, to get the new environment stuff. We can find out the next quest. We can go um, to a new location. I also have now what I can look at is if we go back here, single sheet dungeon, same kind of table. This one is the one that I'm having a lot of fun with, where we have we have oh, there it goes. It's very similar to the other one that we were looking at. Come on, mouse. Be a mouse. I think I need to refresh my dropped frames. Yeah, that might help. Alright, so we look over here. Same kind of idea. Um, you walk into one of these entrances, you roll a d6, choose an entrance, then you go into the next room, and it's either roll a 1 or a 2, it's a corridor. 3 through 5, it's one of these rooms. 6, it's one of these rooms. But you didn't know what the name of this place is, so it's either it's a theme, a natural crypt of one of these two adjective columns. So the unknown, or no, what was it? The unnatural crypt of frozen ravens. Ooh. And then you go into there, start by drawing one of your whatever entrance you roll, and then if it's a corridor, you roll to see what happens in the corridor. If it's a room, you roll to see what happens in the room. Moving quite right, like the other tables that we have. Um, there's separate encounters for each. There's the size of the dungeon and how many special rooms. Special rooms are From what I'm seeing, are mainly flavor, trophy room, kitchen. Excuse me again. And then you have your hazards, your traps, and encounters. Um, on the second page, you have the encounters here. It could be random things like a creature sleeps draped over a chest or in a doorway or atop of a sarcophagus. What do you do with that information? I probably would try to kill it, but if it's a dragon, you don't know with that descriptor, so we have to figure out what it is that's on top of it. Um, More room for interpretation. There's some potential bosses we could fight here in these caves. Um, then you can loot the corpses and get things anywhere from lint all the way up to like magic weapons. So lots that we can still do. Um, but I think that's all I got in for me tonight, and hope to be back on at some other time. With that, I'm out. Later.